Hello, welcome to A Better Mankind. My name's David and thank you for joining me. And we have our little guest, Harley, with us today. Today's video is on a request of somebody very special to me who lives in Florida and her partner. And I'd like to say hello to them both. And the subject is in regards to how has God blessed me in my life. And that is, that's a long story, as in there are so many, which ones do I pick? So what I'll try and do is maybe just give an overview of how God works in my life. And God really works in anybody's life when they allow God to come into their life. So you've got to invite God into your life. Now, God impresses everybody 24/7, those that believe and those that don't. But it's when you have the spiritual awakening that you recognize and become to believe God, it's only then can you see God working in your life. And then on top of that, then if you become obedient, God then blesses you even more. Literally, that's how it works. It's not complicated. It's no different than a friend. Unless you make friends with somebody, that person can't befriend you. So you've got to recognize them, invite them in as a friend, become friendship, start your friendship, and then that's when you have a journey together as friends. So that's how it works in this physical world. Well, it happens exactly the same in the spiritual world. And even though we can't see God, we can actually see where he's been. We can actually see him in our physical lives. And I mentioned in a previous video, he will work in your life only in ways that you will know. And he does this with everybody. And, I'm very sorry about that. So, cut a long story short, God has been in my life ever since I was around about 20 years old. I met my wife, who was my girlfriend then, Natalie, and she was a Christian. And I went to my very first Bible study, and they were reading through the book of John in the Bible, and it just hit me, as in the realness of the scriptures. I can't remember what verses we were reading. And we're in a group of about 8 kids, all the same age, around in their 20s. And it was just, it was a fantastic experience. And that was my very first awakening. Even though I sort of believed in God prior to that, as in I was raised a Catholic, but not a strict Catholic, as in we would go to church or go to a mass. That's what the Catholics call. We went to mass only maybe once a month in the big cathedral in Victoria. And so really that was my, so I've believed in God, but, as in not knowing who God is and how real he is. So, and I think my parents really had that point of view as well. As in when I became what I consider a serious Christian, prior to getting married, I was fairly on fire, you could call it, for God. And I remember my father warning me. He said, "David, you've got to wake up before you go too far." That's what it was a warning to me when I was 20. He felt that my religious experience was becoming very, very, what he considered ridiculous, as in, I just couldn't get enough information. So anyway, time went on, we got married and we had children. Now I've fallen away, as in I've become backslidden, and then I've come back, and God has reawakened my spiritual life. Even though I've never ever stopped believing in God, but he woke me up in round about 2011, and now if I could explain to you how God is so real in my life, you would not believe it, down to the minutest. I'm gonna show you something, and hopefully you can hear me. And this is how God works in my life, and He probably works in most of your lives the same. Whether you recognize it is another thing. So I'm going to pick the camera up and I'm going to do a bit of a view around. This is only a very small office I have, and so hopefully the camera will do the auto focusing properly. I'm just going to discuss a few things just in my office, and this is not me as in I'll see something and I'll like it. There'll be some attraction to it that I like, so I'll buy it. As in I'm not. As in when I was decorating my office, I thought I really like, for example, that picture there. And what I'll do is I'll grab the camera and I'll talk to you the same time, and I'll give you an indication of this is how God works in my life, and He can work in yours, and He probably is. Some of you already, but just bear with me here. I'm going to take this microphone off here because what I want to do is I don't want to stop it. As in, I just think it'll be more realistic if I show you what's going on here. Just bear with me. Hopefully the sound's not too loud for you guys. Because this is going to be I'll upload this as it is, this video. So hopefully it's not too, because normally I do a test on sound and everything. So what I'm going to do is have a look at this. See that picture on the wall there? Okay. Now, there was another picture I was going to choose. Now that the other picture I was going to choose, which was just as dramatic. Now that ship is not sinking. That's a very large ship, and would you believe if you look really, really closely? Now you guys might not see it, but there's 13 people on that boat, and they're all. They're in rough seas. That's all, and it looks like the boat is sinking, but it's not. Now, whether you believe me or not, that's another thing. We're about to enter some very rough waters. And those people that believe already in Yeshua, Jesus Christ, you have nothing to fear because you're going to be raptured. So that ship there is a representation of those people that are going to be left behind. Sure, there are some people there that won't make it, but there'll be plenty of people that God will save. As in the Bible says that all of Israel will be saved. As in all of His people, which are called Israel, will be saved. Okay, that's only one. That's only just one. So now there was another photo, and what I'll do is I'll actually put it on the internet and I'll splice it into this YouTube video. There was another one that I was going to buy, and it was and you might have seen it. It was a large lighthouse, heavy water, and there was a fellow on the lighthouse, and the waves were about to surround and take him. And apparently there was a helicopter. There was a helicopter doing a documentary on the lighthouse. It was a very old lighthouse, and there was a permanent resident in that lighthouse, and that was this man that was there. And he heard the sound of the helicopter, so he went out. He went down the bottom and then opened the door and went out to look for it, not knowing that this massive wave was about to surround the lighthouse. Well, it turns out that he did make it without dying, but for some reason, I chose not to get that. And the significance of not getting that video, that picture instead of this one, was that guy's alone. He's alone in the lighthouse. We're talking. This is representation in my mind. This is representation. That guy was alone in the lighthouse, whereas this one here is afloat. It reminds me of Noah's Ark, actually. The ship there is afloat, and look, God's in control of every situation. There's no doubt, but just that this one had, for some reason, had more meaning to me, so I chose this. And so anyhow, that's only one. You have a look. I'll continue showing you some other things. I'm about to lose power. Just bear with me here, and I'll move the camera around. Now, can you see that for some reason I ended up with that plant there? It's only an artificial plant, and it's like the wheat, as in the wheat and the tares, and that's another biblical one, because God is going to sort the wheat from the tares. And that ladder is sitting on, that's my son, he built that in grade 10, my oldest boy. Now, the one I'm going to show you is the one I like the most, and you have a look at this. Bear with me here. Well, I might have to cut some of this out. Now, have a look at this. Now, I'm not sure if any of you guys have seen that before. Some of you might have. That there is called Gleason's. It's a Gleason's map of the world, and it was I can't remember the date. It was published in what date? I think it was late 1800s. I think 1860 or whatever. There you go. 1892 at the top. It was painted in 1892, November. So, what's the significance of that map? Well, that map is unbelievable. Okay, that guy, that Gleason, I think his name was Alexander. His name was, sorry about the dog, guys. That map was drawn by a fellow called Alexander Gleason. It was painted in 1892, and it's a flat Earth map. Back in the day, as much as the media and the world today will tell you that we live on a spinning ball, that is the map. He was a Seventh-day Adventist, and he I don't know. He's written books, and I've actually got one of his books. I don't know how he come to it. I haven't. You can go search his name on Wikipedia. Alexander Gleason, very intelligent man, and to the point where now, and I'll add a picture into this YouTube. You have a look at this map that I'm showing you here. This is the original map of the UN. And that was before they turned it. So initially it was just like this, exactly the same. But then they thought, oh, this is too much. Well, let's turn it. They still use the flat Earth map, but they've turned it 90 degrees. This just gives you an indication, what we call it's secrets in plain sight. Now, that's now I didn't know. Boy, well, I had. If you had asked me 2 months ago, would I be doing YouTube videos? Mate, I would have thought you got rocks in your head, because I'm certainly not one for speaking in public, especially with my head on YouTube. Trust me. But here I am, and I've certainly got lots of subjects to talk about, but this one here is the biggest, as in we do live on a flat Earth, and there is so much proof, as in biblical proof, as in when Joshua asked God to stop the sun and the moon, he didn't ask the earth to stop spinning. He asked the sun and the moon to stop. That is just one, and there is just so much evidence. But anyway, look, I don't want to bore you with all this detail, but everything is like this. As in, look, there's another one. This was given to me as a gift, and I'll turn it there. Now, can you see? Because I don't know how to zoom in. There's an hourglass at the top. There's an hourglass. We are close. We are very, very close. As in, that hourglass is a representation of time. And, well, I believe we're out of time. That, even though I know an hourglass you turn over and then it starts again, right beside it is a pair of binoculars. That's so we can zoom in and get a better view. And I'll tell you now, once you do zoom into the scriptures, you get a better understanding of where we are. We are so close. We are so close to the beginning of tribulation, the removal of the bride, the church. Okay, now I will have to stop this, because I've got to reset up the camera, and I'll continue talking. So 2 seconds, guys. Welcome back. So as you can see, look, there is just so many things we need to discuss. Oh, excuse me. There are so many things we need to discuss in regards to where we're at, what's coming, and sadly, a lot of people are going to miss the boat, because they're just the whole point of everything is Jesus Christ has been trying to get your attention, as in everybody's attention, and then those that he has their attention, those that have awoken, he then tries to communicate to them as to how to improve their life. And same with me. As you know, I've actually, just the last month, I have woken up to so much more than what I was. It's you think, when's this going to stop? God is real. The Bible is real, and the reason it's called the living word is it's not. You could study a particular, let's say, verse or chapter, and think you know it all, and then you might revisit it a couple of weeks later, and then God will reveal something else that you'd never seen before. This is why it's living, as in it's supernatural, and there is no book on earth that can be that can have the characteristics of this. As in, you could write a novel, and that novel is the same today, tomorrow, as in it's just the novel. This word is, as in the Bible, the way it's been written, unbelievable. But anyway, God is real. He's returning. This is, I'm calling you guys, those that are living a slap happy life, as in you're happy the way things are. If you can't see what's going on around you, there is, and this is nothing. It's only going to heat up and get worse. And you don't want to go through tribulation. So you really need to be on your knees, like daily, multiple times per day. You can never communicate to God enough. You don't have to always be on your knees. You can be praying as you're driving. You can be communicating. It's no different than a friend that you have either down the road, or you've been friends since school, whatever. But be a friend to God. Invite God into your life and allow him to change your life. Let him talk to you. It's a still small voice. It's not necessarily going to be a very few people have an audio, as in there are some have an audio type voice. More than likely, if it's the same as me, it's in your own voice, it's in your own mind. It's like you're talking to yourself in your mind. But when you learn to recognize the voice of God, the still small voice, that is the changing difference. That's it. So, but you've got to start somewhere. Do it today, because we are out of time. Like the hourglass, we're about to head into rough seas. Trust me, we live in a dome under the firmament. I guess it's within the first couple of chapters. We live under a firmament, so it's all in God's control. Nothing happens without God's permission, but you need to invite God into your life, because otherwise he can't help you. So the choice is yours. Make the choice. Things are going to get real, very real, and there's heaps of other people out there. And boy, I'm not on my own calling out to you guys. There are thousands. So God has he's got an army of people out there, all appealing to different types of people. So look, this is good news. This is good news. So don't ignore me. Something very. Look, I put out a video. You would have seen it. It goes for just over 3 minutes. As in, I think it's 3 minutes and 40 seconds, whatever. So it's less than 4 minutes. I go into the statistics of it, and that video says that now I've got 60 or 55 or something views. But then I go to the statistics of it, and it says, it tells me not everybody has viewed the whole thing. So as in, wow, am I that bad? Am I that bad that I can't even keep somebody's attention for 3.5 minutes? Boy, oh boy. There's another YouTube channel that I only just subscribed. There you go. This is how bad I am. I only just subscribed, and look, she's a young girl, a lovely young girl, Christian girl, and she talks about, she's called Heavenly Treasures. Look up the channel and subscribe to her. You might even see it in my amongst my subscriptions. This is how frustrating it is for me. I've been on for a month and I've got 47 views. I'm not having a whinge, boy. I'm sharing with you guys where I'm at. So I put a lot of effort. That 3.5 minute video took me 10 hours to make. And you go, what the hell? Literally, because you've got to get the sound and edit the sound and then get the pictures and then, just a lot of mucking around. It took me, I'm not kidding you, between 8, it might have been 9 hours or 9, whatever. It was in that vicinity, 8 to 10 hours. That's how long. So anyway, because I'm always looking for new, because I love listening to other people that are sharing. You get different points of view, and that's what I really want to do as well. And I'm going to share other Christian YouTubers that I view. Some of you guys might already, because they've all got their different their different perspectives, and they're really good. They're all good at different things. Like, for example, one, he's called revelation12.com, and that's .com. That's what he's called, Revelation, and his name's Paul. Nice Christian guy. He's got a pretty good following as well, as in he's got several, I can't remember, he might have 30,000, I can't remember how many subscriptions. Boy, he goes in, because you see, Israel, as in the state of Israel, is our thermometer to where we are in the world today, because a lot of biblical prophecy revolves around Israel and regards the dividing of the land. And as you all know, and I'd be very surprised if you didn't know, Trump and Trump's political party are in the middle of, they're about to finalise the dividing of Israel they call it the two-state solution in regards to the dividing of Israel for the Palestinians. So you're going to have a separate state for the Palestinians, and then Israel will have the rest. Wow, that is completely against God's commands. He has stated right from day dot that he is giving the land to the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So that is, wow, that's taboo. So here's these guys. And now, we believe, as in, because everything that this guy shows you, and it's not just from him, boy, you get it in lots of places, it's about the dividing of the land. Unbelievable. They're doing it right now, and we believe this is the thing that's going to trigger everything's been culminating right up to this point, to the dividing of the land, and it'll be the straw that breaks the camel back. So anyway, I was going back to this young girl. She's called Heavenly Treasures. And she's got 5.5, nearly 6,000 subscribers. And I thought, wow, I wonder how long she's been going for. So I go down and have a look. She's been going the same time as me. I've been going for a month. Right? I've got, is that how bad I am? I've got 46 subscribers. 47, no, 46. She's been going for the same time, and she's got 5,500. I think, wow. Is it because she's an attractive young lady? I mean, boy, we're all different, but what is it? She might have a lot of young girls that she's attracting, or young men, or whatever be the case. But I'm just really surprised how she has so many thousands of subscribers, and I've only got, and we've been going for the same amount of time, and yet this type of video that I'm doing now is called a talking head, as in, whereas, like, I'm trying to do a whole mixture of things, and maybe that's the problem. Maybe there's no consistency with what I'm doing. But I try and give you guys a range of stuff so it's not so boring, and yet it doesn't seem to be doing the job. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong. If you guys can work out what I'm doing wrong, please put in the comments and tell me. I'm willing to listen. But anyway, thank you so much. Time is short. God bless you. Thank you for watching. And I'll see you on the next video. Thank you.